Peace. This is Anpu Ra. I know it's been a minute, but I'm here to drop some more knowledge on this astral travel, astral traveling, astral projecting, lucid dreaming. Alright. The last video I did was about November 29th, 2013, which was a Friday. In that video, I kind of explained how I didn't realize that I left my body. I gave y'all some tips. I hit the switch, the light switch. The light didn't come on. I explained that, certain techniques you can use to have lucid dreams, but it has to be done, it has to be practiced on a daily basis. I gave y'all a technique to look at your hands, constantly look at your hands, and question your surrounding. So you do it so much that when you start dreaming, you do it in a dream, question it, look around, you're like, okay, wow, I'm dreaming. In that last video, I also spoke about how, for me, astral traveling has, it kind of like gave me more psychic ability. And, not like, certain psychics that, oh, let me read your palm and I could tell you your future and your past, and or you read through looking through a crystal ball and all that. That's not my type of ability that I have developed through the years. My ability is more of, in the moment, deja vu. You just know something that's going to happen before it happens. Or when someone's gonna say something, you just like you ahead of the time. Dreams, having dreams, and the dreams coming true. That's happened to me a lot. And I also in that video spoke about having a dream journal. And you too, once you start keeping record of these things, you're gonna realize that you too can develop this ability. With your psychic body. And I mean, I could go on for days of my psychic experiences. I remember one time I had a dream that, I came down a block and my friends was like chilling on a corner, and they was, just hanging out like on a regular day. And I remember I rolled up over there. And as soon as I left them, the cops rolled up on them. And when I came out that dream, it was so vivid. It was so fresh. It was like so clear to me. And it was crazy. And I remember that day because it was a Sunday. It was a Sunday. And I got up that morning, and I was just like, wow. And I got up around 10. And I remember I left the house like around 11 in the morning. And I was like, let me go to the barbershop and get a haircut. And I walked down the block. Sure enough, my friends is on the corner. So I told him, and my little brother was there too. And my little brother witnessed, like he could witness this. He was a witness. And I came up to them and I was like, yo, it's crazy. I just had this dream that, we was chilling on the corner and the boys rolled up on us. And they was like, what? Oh, don't say that. Don't say that. You know what I'm saying? Because, some of my partners back in those days, they was doing things they wasn't supposed to be doing. Hustling, doing stupid things. But, yeah. And then, like, as soon as I gave them that, I was like, yo, I'm out. I'm going to go, go to the barbershop and get a haircut. I walked away. And as I was walking away, a friend of mine's, I was walking in the street, and a friend of mine's had, he rode up in a car right behind me. He rode up real slow, and he's like one of my OGs, and he was like, small problem, because he always called me small problem because I'm short. He was like, small problem, and I like turned around and looked, and I laughed like, oh, what's up, what's good? But when I turned around and looked at my friends, sure enough, the cops rolled up right on them. And when that happened, I just got like this chills. Like when I have those experiences, I get like the chills through my body. Like, oh shit, like that shit came true. Like it was crazy. I went to the barbershop, got my hair cut. I came back to the block, and my friends was like, yo, you janksters, yo. I was like, yo, I didn't jinx y'all. I told y'all what was going to happen. I'm like, but at that time, I'm like, honestly, I didn't know that was going to happen, but it happened. And I had those experiences a lot. Another time, I was about to go, I had a dream that I was walking to my best friend's house, and his cousin had pulled up in a car and was like, where you going? And I was like, oh, I'm going to such and such house. He was like, ah, nah, don't go there. The cops ran up in the house, with the warrant this morning. Ain't nobody there. They flipped the house up. And I'm like, what? Didn't think nothing of it. Woke up that same morning. Woke up. I was heading to my friend's house. What happened? His cousin pulled up right on the side of me. And when he pulled up, I already know what he was going to say. And the whole time I'm saying to myself, like, oh, please don't say it. Please don't say it. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't want that to happen to my friend, my best friend. And I knew it was a lot of people in the house at that time. His girl and his cousins and stuff like that. And when he just like, he was like, where you going? I was like, oh, I'm going to such and such house. And he was like, nah, don't go there. And as soon as he said that, my heart just started pounding like, oh, please don't say it. And he said it. He was like, yo, they raided the crib. Don't go there. It was crazy. I remember even one time, like, even like not having a dream, like just in the moment, like you just had that thought of a person, and then a person just pops up out of nowhere, or the person end up calling your phone, like somehow it just happens. And I remember one time, right before, I was gonna leave New York, I was with my friends from my job. They came to my hood to chill with me, and I was at my best friend's house. We drinking, doing what we do, just chilling, hanging out, listening to music. And I don't know how the conversation started, but I was explaining to them, because I'm from Queens, New York. You know what I'm saying? The same area where LL Cool J is from. You know what I'm saying? So I was explaining to my friends from my job, like, yeah, LL Cool J wife used to live around the corner, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know her brother. Like, yeah, like, I know LL Cool J's brother-in-law. Like, and he just got out of jail and all that. And then and my friend was like, word, he live around here? I'm like, yeah. I'm like I, you know what I'm saying? He come through once in a while, this and the third. We was just talking normally. And right after the conversation, he shows up. I mean, right after I was just saying that, like, he shows up. And I was like, wow, like, you gonna live a long time. I was just talking about you. And my best friends and them was like, oh, it is him? And he was like, wow, that's crazy. Like, yo, Anpu was just talking about you. And my best friend was like, yo, look at his shirt. So it happens that he had a LL Cool J shirt on. Like LL Cool J name and the picture of LL Cool J. Like, then I would just explain it to them, like, about LL Cool J. So, like, things in that nature, like, it happens. You know what I'm saying? It happens. And yeah, it's deep, man. It's deep. It's real deep. And even today, I had today's what? August the 5th. August the 5th, last night, I had a dream of my coworker, which is crazy. Now that we're on the subject, like, I had this dream with my coworker, and she was with her son and her daughter and her husband. Never met her husband before, never met her kids before. I just work with the woman, real cool woman. She's from Morocco. And, this morning, I work with her. So I walked up to her. I was like, yo, it's crazy. I had a dream about you. And she was like, yeah, what happened in the dream? Like, and I was like, nah, I just saw you, you was with your family. You had your daughter and your son, and you was with your husband. and you was like, and I spoke to your husband, and your husband, he was telling me that how he was unhappy in this state in North Carolina. I'm living in North Carolina. So he was like, I'm unhappy. And she said, you know what? He is unhappy. Like, he doesn't want to be here. They from Morocco. They used to live in Florida. I ain't thinking, and I told her, I said, sometimes my dreams be coming true. And she just gave me a look like whatever, right? So, like, it was crazy. Like, an hour later, unexpectedly, her family came to the job. Unexpectedly. And I saw her son, I saw her daughter, and I saw her husband. And it was crazy. Like, her face looked priceless. Like, she didn't understand. And she's a Muslim, I respect her. She's a real cool woman. And, they had left. And I was like, oh, that's your family? And she was like, yeah, yeah. And I was like, wow, your daughter looked just like you. And I said, didn't I tell you that I had a dream about you and your family? And she was like, you did. And she's like looking at me like, you did say that. And I said, I told you my dreams come true. You know what I'm saying? And this happened today. August 5th, 2015. So, like I said, pay attention to your dreams. Astral traveling, pay attention to your dreams. You kind of like strengthen your psychic ability. And, I could keep going on and on with so many experiences, and people would be like, oh, you a psychic, oh, you can tell the future. Nah, it just doesn't work like that for me. I'm pretty sure you got psychics out there that can tap into people's past lives or in a future and stuff of that nature, but not me. I can't do that. I only see minds within dreams, or sometimes like it just happens within the moment. I might just get like a flash and I just plays like a movie in my head. But it's always real quick. It's not like I could, see this whole thing. And a lot of deja vus. I have a lot of deja vus. A lot. Just like some people have it once in the blue. Like me, I have it a lot. So I know what's going on. Now that I know, I'm more in tune with it. And like I said, it's a muscle. Just keep, focusing on it, being conscious of it, and it just getting stronger and stronger. And a good friend of mine's, the one I call Hathor, the one that put me onto the crystals, I used to always tell her about these situations. And I mean, ask her, she could be like, man, he got a list of these situations. And she used to always joke around, like, when you going to give me those lottery numbers? You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, it's pretty deep. It's pretty deep. So get in tune with that, because it's amazing feeling. It's pretty cool. So in this, let me get back to my astral traveling journal. So like I said, I spoke about what happened on November 29th, 2013. That was a Friday. So in this segment, it's a little deeper. It's a little deeper. Like I said, each experience is different. This experience was amazing. It was amazing. It's hard to explain it, but most of these experiences is hard to explain. I just write it down as best as possible, and just want to share it with y'all. Just want to share it with the world. So on this experience, so the last one was November. Like I said, it was happening almost every month. This one is in December, December 31st, 2013. That was a Tuesday, and I had a lucid dream. And like I said before, lucid dreaming is when you're having a dream and you become conscious within your dream. And you know what's going on. So in this dream, in this experience, like I wrote here, it was a lucid dream, but it was very powerful. It was a very powerful one. It was if I was like being initiated in a ritual. I know it sounds crazy, but that's what happened. And the same, like I said before, the same African man that I keep seeing, in my dreams and when I astral traveled, the same African man. I don't even know who this guy's name is. It don't even matter what his name is. I just know that he's real, because this entity keeps coming to me, in these experiences. So I know he's there for a reason. And he was there, and the same guy I always see all the time, and he was with this African woman. Now he was standing up, and this African woman, she was looking like a goddess. Like, her presence was very powerful, and she was just sitting there with like a real serious face, and he was serious too. Like, he was just standing there. They were both looking at me, and I like was looking at them from a distance, and it was like this tribe was around them, but I didn't focus on the individuals that of the tribe. It was like this African tribe. It was like if I was in Africa and I was taking part of this African ritual, and it's pretty deep. I was just like, okay, and they told me to come forward, and when I came forward, there was a bull. Right, it was a bull laid out on the floor right in front of this African woman, and it was laid out like his head down, like those animal rugs. It was laid down like that, and she was doing the talking. And the crazy thing is, when she was speaking, she never moved her mouth. So she was using telepathy because I heard her voice in my head. And I was just amazed. And like I said, I was so conscious. It was a lucid dream. I was so conscious, and I was kind of nervous at the same time. So, whatever she was telling me to do, I was just doing it. Like, so they told me to come forward, and she was the only one that spoke. The African man didn't even speak. So, the bull was laying there. The bull was just laying there. It wasn't moving. So she told me to mount the bull. And then an African man had gave me a machete, and she told me to cut the throat of the bull and then stick a hole in the back of the neck. And I did what she said, and I don't even know why I did it. I just did it. Like, I just did it. I didn't even question it. I didn't refuse. When she said it, I don't know. It was weird. I just did it. Then the African man, he took the machete from me, and the woman told me to turn around on my knees while still mounted on top of this bull. And she said, receive the spirit. And I didn't know, I'm be honest with you, I didn't know what I was doing, right? I didn't know what I was doing. But I remember I sat there on top of this bull, and I started meditating. I closed my eyes, and I just started focusing, and talking about receiving the spirit. I just started focusing on that, and a ball of light like just lit up in my hand, because I was sitting there like this. I had my hands like this in my lap, just meditating on top of this bull that I just slit his throat and poked a hole in the back of his neck. It's crazy. I know it sounds crazy, but this is what happened. And this ball of light was just sitting in my hand. It was very bright. And I remember I put the light in me. And I felt the power. It was so powerful. It was a powerful energy. And when I took this light, I put it in me. You could say I put it in my solar chakra. For those that know chakras, that's where your solar plex is. And I put it there, and it just lit me up. Like, I just became pure light, and I felt the powerful energy. And the whole time, the African tribe, they was like chanting this song. Like, it was like they was putting me through a trance. This experience was it was fucking crazy. But it felt so right. Spiritually, it's kind of hard to explain it, and when I put the energy in me, I remember I started to cry. And as soon as I started to cry, the rain began to fall. The rain began to fall down really hard. And then the African woman said, "There it is." I don't know what that meant. I don't know what was the purpose of this ritual. It was a ritual. I know it was. I don't know what was the purpose of it, but I remember what she was saying. That was the last thing she said. She said, "There it is." And I closed my eyes, and then boom, I went back to my body. And I woke up. And the crazy thing is that I can still hear this African chant. It was like a song. You know what I'm saying? I'm up. I'm in a three-dimensional physical world now, and I could still hear it in my head. I could still hear them singing, and I remember just laying in the bed, and I just started to cry. I just started to cry, and it wasn't like tears of pain, sadness. It was it was tears of joy. It was tears of joy. It was amazing. That energy that I felt was amazing. So yeah, and that was the end of that episode, that adventure. And like I said, that was December 31st, 2013, which was a Tuesday. So yeah, I'm gonna leave y'all on that note. That's something to think about. So until we meet again, it is the mighty great Anpu Ra, the big dog, the opener of the way. Hotep, and peace.